Alright, what's good, people? So, today we're going to talk about the Lemifshe rosie versus the Jufule rosie. These knives are very different, in my opinion. Obviously, they're both clones, and one is the Lemifshe, so this one and this one. And these two are the Jufules. And the biggest difference right off the bat is going to be, let's kind of move two off to the side, is going to be the thickness. So right off the get-go, the Lemifshe is going to be quite a bit thicker. It also weighs more, so it's heavier. But let's see about thickness here. See if the calipers want to do right today. So the Lemifshe, we're looking at basically half an inch, 4.9. And the Jufule, 4.13. So, that's quite a bit different of a difference there on the handles. And this one is like 4.9. This is like 3.2. So the weight is pretty significant too. And then if we look at, when you look at them from the lock bar disengagement side, you can really tell the difference, And the blade shapes, I didn't notice this when I actually unboxed them, but the blade shape is, let me get you right over top of it, because I feel like you can tell way better right over top of it. Let's see. Can I get this stupid thing to work? There we go. Yeah, but so the blade shape on the Lemifshe is, it doesn't have as much belly, and I didn't even notice that right when I got it out of the box. I did notice the hole being smaller on it. So this is Lemifshe, this is Jufule, but you can see the hole size is a little different. And then this blade shape. This Jufule copy is way more accurate to the real rosie, from the thickness to the blade shape to the hole, just everything about it. That being said, I almost like the Lemifshe one more, but it's really, they're just so different in the way that they feel in the hand and the way that they cut, honestly, because this doesn't have as much belly, which it doesn't, it looks so slight, but I can stay in a cut, especially when I'm cutting cardboard, a lot easier with this knife, because it's almost like I don't know, it's just that not having all that belly out towards the tip right there allows me to stay in the cut a little bit better. And then in the hand, this guy's so much better. And the jimping is better on this one. I cannot push past the jimping on this for shit. This guy, I can. No, it's rough. Don't get me wrong. It's still great jimping. But this is like, you're going to take skin off your thumb if you try to go pushing past that. And then the fact that it's so much thicker, especially right here in the choked up spot, it just feels so much better in the hand, to me. And then if you do the skeletonized one, it's the exact same weight as the thinner guy. So these are almost identical in weight, 3.2. So then you kind of get the best of both worlds with the skeletonized one, which I really like. The only thing you don't get with the skeletonized one, and I'll shut up for a minute, is the sound. The sound is not quite as good on the skeletonized one as it is on this one with the Lemifshe. And then I don't know if you can tell, but this one, I took the skiffs out of this one and I put it in this one. And the skiffs do make a big difference. So this is no skiffs in the Lemifshe. This is with skiffs. You can hear it. This one's like dead silent. And it's just buttery smooth on the drop. It is shake home. It's not falling on its own, but you don't feel any resistance with this one. And it works phenomenal left-handed too. You can be all over. I suck so bad at thumb flicking with my left hand. But you can be all over the lock bar on it. I mean, and you can still flick it fucking easy as all get out. And the detent on this Lemifshe one was so good right out of the box on both of these. Especially this one, because you get the sound on it. So it just sounds freaking snappy as shit. And even though the hole is smaller on this one, I almost think it's easier for me to thumb flick it, because my thumb naturally grabs right on this huge chamfer, rides on it, and then snatches the hole at the end right there. Kind of like you want to do on this one, but I just find it, I mean, it's still, it's still really good. I mean, we're talking such minor differences here in the hole size, I mean, you feel it because it is smaller and this is so much thicker, but in reality, when I'm flicking it with the size of my thumb, I mean, this is more satisfying to me, I don't know that it's necessarily easier. Maybe that was the wrong word. It's just like more satisfying. The reverse flick on both of them is just unbelievably money. Just so good. Even on these Jufule ones. But the biggest difference with the Jufule ones was they weren't like this out of the box. You had to tune these out of the box. Meaning when I got this, the detent was light on it, and I had to push the lock bar over, which means it's not like we're crazy locked up or something. We're at, what was it? 50%. But I did have to move it over to get it to have a good detent. And that applies to this one as well. This is a batch 1 Jufule. This is a batch 2. And neither one of these have skiffs in them. These are the bearings that they came with from Jufule. I will say the Jufule ones are way harder for me personally to disengage the lock, because this is so thin. I mean, I can do it, don't get me wrong, but because my thumb stays just god-awful beat up, it's not the most pleasant thing. But I almost think after moving the lock bars over on the Jufule copies, the sound on them is so good because they're so much thinner. Like, you just hear the pop that they make, and it's so satisfying. I mean, I've never handled a real one, so I don't know what they feel or sound like, but I just know this feels and sounds amazing. I mean, so does this one. And these are, like I said, the standard bearings from Jufule, and they have really good shake closed action on them once you, tune them. But this one, I can feel it just ever so slightly moving at the pivot. But it doesn't make any sound doing it. This one, I have a little looser to get it where I want it. These, we don't have any of that. I don't feel them move. They're not making any noise. And that's how they were right out of the box. So, like, out of the box, the Lemifshe ones are better, but the Jufule ones, if you tune them and everything, they can have just as good of action, if not better, because I feel like the sound is better on them. And the whole, maybe on the reverse flick is better on these because it's bigger. I don't know. That's really subjective. It's good on all of them. And the blade shape thing, it just depends on what you're doing cutting wise. I cut down a lot of cardboard. So for me, not having as much belly out towards the end is a good thing, I do feel like I have to cant up a little higher on the Jufule to get to the tip. Just a smidge of a jidge. I mean, they're so close, really the thickness is the biggest thing. And then the blade stock on the Lemifshe is thicker, but it comes down to a thinner behind the edge measurement. I measured this thing multiple times on both of these, and I'm getting 13.5 to 14 thousandths every time. I'll try to show it on camera, but y'all know at this point, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm so bad at this. There's 14 thousandths. Okay. We're still at 0. Let's do it on this one. If I can get it. Alright. 13.5. So yeah, the Lemifshe ones are just thinner down behind the edge. The Jufule ones aren't bad at all. Don't get me wrong. They're, 17 thousandths. So, they're just not quite as slicey, but they're damn, the edge that comes on these out of the box is flipping amazing, dude. They're laid back, super nice, and they basically put a mirror polish on them. And I've had the 154 CM tested from both of these companies as far as HRC wise. They were both right at 60. The Lemifshe was almost a 61. Jufule's, which I had an SPK tested for theirs, was 60 something. And the Mini McNeese was the one for Lemifshe that was tested and was close to a 61. So and I believe it's 154 CM. If it's not, it's something equivalent. Because they sharpen and cut like 154, I would be hard pressed for somebody to tell me that these were not 154. And I've seen tests online about Jufule's M390 really testing, and he almost hit a 60 fucking, or no, it was a 62 on M390 from a clone company. And this was somebody using a real machine. You can go on the Chinese Knife Reddit site and look up Jufule HRC, and you'll see it. He's using a super nice calibrated machine to do it. So, and I had mine tested live on a YouTube channel. So, you can believe whatever you want, but the proof is kind of in the pudding. If you get one and use it, I would be highly surprised if you came to the conclusion that this wasn't the steel it's advertised as. Now, is that the case on every knife on AliExpress? Am I trying to say that, or anything close to that? No, God, no. I'm just talking about what is in front of me right here on this table. They're both amazing clones. And this one with the skiffs in it is ungodly smooth. It is, just listen to it. Now let's listen to the one without the skiffs. This is the Lemifshe, the other Lemifshe. Okay, let's listen to the Jufule ones, neither one of which have skiffs. And the last Jufule. So, they're all just so good, man. I really like this skeletonized one because, again, like I said, you kind of get the best of both worlds. And with the smaller hole, it's easier for me to flick with my thumb. And then with this blade shape, I actually stay in cuts a little bit longer for the cutting I'm doing. So, like, this one for me is kind of like the ultimate one. Well, I say that, and then this one, the XL. This is the best one. This hands down tops any of these on the table, in my opinion. This XL one is fucking nominal. It is so ungodly snappy. Listen to that thing. You ready? It's echoing through my entire room. Oh, that was a shit fucking thumb flick. I need to get skips for this one. This one's like got the 2 sun bearings. Listen to it. you know, if it had skiffs in it, boy, it would be really good. They're all just so good, man. Like I said, you know, I don't think you can go wrong. You know, that if you like a thicker one, you know, and a little bit more heft to it, go with the Lemifshe. If you're looking for pure accuracy and the closest thing you can get to a real rosie, go with the Jufule. Just know you'll have to probably tune these. I think the next batch he does, the detent will be better on. I think it'll be closer to these. Jufule listens. As much as people talk shit about him, he listens to feedback, you know, and he's trying to improve as best as he can. So, you know, it is what it is. Love him or hate him, he's making good clones, in my opinion. You know, I don't have no problems with him. As long as he, you know, sends me my knife, I'm good to go. Anyways, y'all have a good one. Take it easy.